Have you noticed how when you stand behind your truth and you speak for yourself and you really start to share more fully and more widely, you can often get a lot of criticism and a lot of negativity. So this has happened a few times in my life, I have to say, and these YouTube videos have been going really well, and I've been absolutely loving interviewing a wide range of people who are mystics, people who've had near-death experiences or who've had awakenings. I've also interviewed healers and really heartfelt, really good people who are trying their best to live true to who they are and to live true to what they've been called to in terms of their purpose. So all of that said, today I posted a comment on an online spiritual community, which I kind of go in and out of. I've been a member of for a few years. And a man on there started asking some questions. He was kind of probing, and I was gracious enough to respond in a kind way, in a generous way. And he responded back really violently. At the end of a few questions, he responded back really, really violently, very aggressively. His response was 3 paragraphs long or something like that. And he essentially intimated that I was a liar and I was making up what I was speaking about. And I was speaking about my direct experiences of having lucid dream meetings with great beings from diverse paths and traditions, and how I also see these great beings in the waking state. And I do. I mean, obviously I don't see them 24/7, but I see them. I didn't make that statement that I see them 24/7, but certainly the way it works is that if I have a question about anything, or I'm contemplating a sort of deep inquiry, I will invoke one of the great beings. I'll invoke Jesus or Mother Mary or one of the master yogis that I work with. And at the minute I remember them, I feel their presence, and they are here. They are here, tangibly here. And oftentimes I'll get a sense of them standing behind me or in front of me. Sometimes I see them almost like a ghost-like form. Sometimes I'll see the full kind of image of them. Sometimes I see them inside myself, and I hear them speaking to me inside myself. And honestly, this has continued. It's really been there since I was a child, actually, since I was very, very young. But then after receiving Shaktipat initiation, these kinds of experiences just blew up. And I've spoken about this and written about this extensively, so I won't go into too many of the details, but and I certainly wouldn't have mentioned any of that in the online community at such length if this man hadn't been probing. So anyway, I responded, and then I got hit with this really kind of nasty rant. It was just like a rant. And as I was reading it, I could feel this kind of energy. There's like the remnants of kind of old energy started to move up. And I realized it was really ancient energy. And I was watching it coming up, and it was kind of pulsating. And rather than pull back, as I'd done for many years, I leaned into and embraced what was coming up and allowed it just to come up and to kind of release. And I could feel my body kind of vibrating and shaking for a while, for several minutes actually. And then once all of that had passed, I went back onto the community page and I responded very kindly to and I left it there. But the reason I've hopped on here this evening to share this story is that it's a common one. And I had two very clear insights as a consequence of what happened. And one is that the energy of witch hunting is still very present, not just in men, it's in some women as well. It's definitely still there. And I think that is behind a lot of the fear that people, but particularly women, feel with respect to stepping out, being seen, and sharing their deeper truth and deeper knowing. That's the first thing. And secondly, I realized, oh my gosh, even in spiritual communities with long-time seekers who pride themselves on having had experiences and having woken up and having done the practices and all of those things, there's fear that comes up when they hear testimonies of what it means to live in a way that is free and absolutely aligned with the Supreme Self or Source itself or whatever you want to call that. And alongside that recognition, I realized, okay, the fear comes out of recognizing that your identity isn't who you are, and that has to be dropped. So all of that seeking energy, the accumulation, if you like, of knowledge through seeking, will at some point have to be dropped, because you cannot attain enlightenment or self-realization as a person. It just doesn't happen. It's not possible, because what stands in the way of your own self-recognition is personal identity. So it's that's the truth. That's the truth of it. So what happened today was a gift, actually, because it gave me these very clear insights, and it also helped me to see and recognize that throughout my life, ever since I was really young, I've had to deal with violent male energy that, and I've seen it kind of being tracked throughout my life, where when I've started to kind of stand up and reveal who I am, there's this kind of pushback that often comes from, often from men, not always from men, but often from male, let's say male energy, that can be very aggressive. So part of the reason I'm on here is to say to you, to remain true to who you are, to speak from a place of authority, and to not let anybody try to diminish or dim the truth of what you are having a direct experience of. So if you're having visions, if you're having out-of-body experiences, if you're hearing voices, or whatever the manifestation of those supernatural powers looks like, then remain true to that. Remain true. Don't try and hide and diminish, and deny who you are. So I'll leave that with you. I hope everything's well and you're doing well. In the Bahamas here, we're going through this storm that's happening right now. So we'll see if the power stays up. We hope so. And I hope you're safe and dry and well wherever you are. And take it easy. And that's all for me for now. Bye.